Hi Leo, welcome to your March 2021 Taroscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note about my readings, they are for your sun, moon and ascendant. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Leo, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to give you a clearer, more complete picture of how these are going to speak to you. And with that said, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and this resonates, hit the subscribe button. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So quick note, we are going to look at the different sectors of your life and then we're going to go week by week with a major card. And those weeks of the month here are what inform the weekly reading. So this is kind of like an entire ecosystem, if you like, and they all feed into each other. So it gives you sort of a way for you to plan your week ahead, or your weeks and your months ahead, right? And then you'll get the key to the month card, which is kind of like the overarching energy or theme for the month ahead. So for your actions and interactions with the world at large, Leo, you have the Four of Cups. So this is going to be an easy month. This is one where you are taking it relatively slow. And this doesn't mean that, you know, everything's just going to lag behind and, you know, you're going to be like plodding along. It just suggests that this month you are taking your time. Now, what I like about the Four of Cups, it tends to bring you, I always see this as like a surprise, and it's one that you don't expect. It tends to bring you either some sort of information or some opportunity that you weren't expecting, but you have to do something with. Now, I will say this, because it is the Four of Cups, this month you may find, okay, you know what, things are a little bit slower than I would like. They're not necessarily moving as fast or as dynamically as I would like, but that doesn't mean that progress isn't being made. Sometimes the slow and steady progress that we make is the progress that actually lasts. Remember that. So as we come into the last 2 weeks of the month as well, remember the sun's going to move into Aries, which is going to offer us that lovely sort of trine energy. So there are lots of good things to look forward to here. But like I said, look out at the start of the month or over the course of the month, to be fair, for an opportunity or a piece of information that makes all the difference. But like I said, at first you might be like, whoa, okay, I didn't expect this, or this has come almost suddenly. I like it. For our money and materials, we have the Six of Cups. So when it comes to the finances, this is actually a good card. I mean, I think so anyway. Interestingly enough, this opportunity that is coming up this week, this month, is one that you have already had previously. So for those of you that remember, in January, I did say that there would be opportunities or pockets of opportunities that came up over the course of that month. And if they were good then, they would be good now. They would be good later on in the year as we got into and including March. So I find it really interesting that this has come up. And this does suggest to me that whatever opportunity, whatever tidbit of information that's really important for you that came up, so whatever it is that comes up this month, it's something that you're revisiting. It's not something that's completely new to you. So this could be the time where you can actually move ahead with it. And it could be quite lucrative for you. Now, remember your Six of Cups is nostalgia and happy memories, but it's also, when it comes to money and opportunities, this is something that may have been on the back burner that you couldn't do anything with. I find this really interesting as well, because I'm finally getting to move ahead with my tarot course, which I'm really, really excited about. I'm sorry there aren't any spaces left at this point, but there will be another round in the fall if you are interested. So stay peeled and keep your eyes peeled and just stay tuned. For your physical health and vitality, this is actually a good card for that, because it suggests that it's going to be easy this month. What I will say though, that slow, steady energy that is required from you in general is going to be across the board. Now, for your health and vitality, the Six of Cups will literally represent like your reproductive system, your bladder, etc. Now, for those of you that have had maybe challenges conceiving and whatnot, I think this month this month there is a possibility that you could be discovering the reason you haven't been able to do so, and you'll be able to put something in place to rectify it. or for those of you, that aren't on that journey, this will literally speak to you about cleaning up your innards. So like this is your digestive system, your bladder, like all of that. So it's getting to the root of any challenges that you may have had on the health level. When it comes to your home and environment, now Leo is one of those signs that I did say and highlight over the course of 2021. You are either likely to be changing home, you're likely to be moving, you're likely to be going somewhere new. It's definitely a possibility for you. Now, what comes up over the course of this month is that you find the place, right? So maybe not necessarily the specific home, but you find the area. Yes, that's where I want to live. That's where I want to be, and this could be highlighted to you. For your communications and conversations, you have the Seven of Wands. So communication may be still a little bit challenging this month, and more than anything I actually feel like this is because you're having to put your foot down with something. So maybe you're having to draw a line in the sand, maybe you are having to remind somebody that actually maybe they don't have all of the facts. Your Seven of Wands isn't just about battles, but it's also sometimes it's where you have the high ground, right? It's where you already have the advantage. Now, for those of you that have challenges with siblings, if you have them, this could be a month where you are addressing something like that. For those of you that don't have siblings or don't have any challenges with your siblings, this could be a colleague or a work friend or somebody that you work with. There's something here where you're having to set the record straight, and it doesn't have to be anything huge. It doesn't have to be like a whole thing. Do you know what I mean? It could literally just be a conversation. What I will say is with the Seven of Wands this month, you are very good with communication because you're being very open about things. I like this. It's kind of like Leo minus the filter, hashtag no filter, which I actually really like. That means I can, stop thinking so much about what I say and just do what I do in my everyday life and open my mouth and insert my foot. For your heart and half, you have the World card. For those of you that are single, you could definitely meet someone this month. Now, what I will say about this though is there is either really good banter or the sexual chemistry is off the charts. I don't necessarily see this being somebody that is going to be around forever, but it does look like you could have a lot of fun, a lot of enjoyment with this person. They're either from a very different background to you, but you meet them in your locality. And that's the important part here as well. You will be meeting this person in the light of day, not over the internet, not on a hookup app or the dating app. Grindr, Tinder, Spinder, whatever the bloody hell they're called. Not that I don't know. It's not going to be that kind of connection. It's going to be in the light of day. You'll be meeting somebody, and like I said, it may not necessarily be. It might be short-lived, but it's definitely going to grease the wheels. Now, what I can also tell you about this person is there's likely to be somewhat of an age gap between you. Whether 5 years older or 5 years younger. For a select few of you, this could literally be somebody that works in, as a police officer, as military personnel, as, there's somebody that's very dynamic, but also very passionate and vibrant, which I really like. For those of you that are partnered or in relationships already, something about the partnership is being rewritten this month, and I feel like you're going to be in the lead of this. So maybe you're saying to your significant other, we need to do more of this. I want more of this in our lives. I want more of that, for us to do with a weekly basis. There's a lot of openness and honesty, and I actually like this. So let's have a look at the weeks of the month. These are slightly longer than they usually are, but I'm enjoying doing them. So let me know what you think about the more time and deeper messages. Ooh, okay. So for the first week of the month, we have the Death card. So this is literally you snapping out of your funk. All right, so that's one way that you can look at this. So if you have been feeling a little bit under the weather or maybe a bit more subdued than you usually are, this is kind of the end of it, and you'll see the end of that come up over the first week of the month. What it also suggests to me as well, remember what I said about a surprise? Sometimes getting it's kind of like one of those things, you know, like sometimes you want something for so long that you kind of don't really stop to think about what would happen if you actually got it. This feels like that to me. It's almost like this week the wanting or the longing for something disappears because the thing shows up, and now you're like, I don't really know what to do with this. Interesting. For the second week of the month, we have the Justice card. So something is definitely coming back onto the table. Now, whatever it is, this could literally end up being a contract of some sort. So maybe you're signing on the dotted line, maybe that old idea or old opportunity that comes up again, and you're like, right, okay, this time I'm not going to miss out. And that's how you'll know this. Like, for those of you that are thinking, oh, you know, what's it going to be? You will know this opportunity because you will have wanted to do it probably around January, maybe even late December, but you didn't have the time, you didn't have the money, you didn't have the resources, you didn't have the support. Whereas now it comes up again and you're like, yes, I've got everything that I need to do this. I'm going to go for it. Great. For your third week of the month, you have the Sun card. This is lovely, right? Especially because this is where the Sun comes into Aries. So it's going to start to offer that trine energy. And what I like about this, because it is the Sun card, there is light, heat, passion, joy, fun, excitement. And it's coupled with the Seven of Wands. This is you standing your ground, but not in like a way that is seen as like, oh, you know, that person's being, you know, whatever. Like this is you able to speak your truth, to stand your ground in a way that people love you for. It's kind of like where, you know, sometimes like when you're that person that's like generally quite quiet and, you know, you mind your business, and then somebody kind of gets up at you, and then, you know, you see this person check a bitch and you're like, okay, that just makes me love you even more. Do you know what I mean? Like this could literally be that. So for you silent dignity type Leos, and I know many of you truly are wonderful people, this could be that, right? That's one way of looking at this. But remember, the Sun card is always a blessing. Like whatever it comes up with, it's always a blessing. It always enhances the beauty and the blessings that you have in your life, and it diminishes the challenges. So even with the Seven of Wands, this is maybe even, you know, you having a tough conversation with the boss and doing so in such a way that makes everybody just like, wow, you know what, you handled that like a boss. Yeah, great. All right. And then for your fourth week of the month, you have the Temperance card coupled with the World card. So for those of you that are meeting somebody, I'm sticking with military personnel, police officers, but also going to add people that work as like EMTs, ambulance workers, you know, anybody that's in that kind of realm. You could be meeting somebody like that this month. For your family and familial ties this month, an older person who has a little bit of trouble keeping themselves on the straight and narrow, I'm sorry to say, may very well feature for you this month. So whether this is, you know, an uncle that drinks too much, or you know, maybe even a parent that is, you know, unruly and acts more like a teenager than you do. Like there's something this month where you are called in to assist a family member that is kind of, it almost looks like they're about to go off the rails. So just be aware of that. Now, the other thing is, for a lot of you, this month could highlight to you where you are maybe taking a trip or a journey of some sort that has a very spiritual slant to it. The interesting thing is, though, you're not going alone. So whether you're going with a friend, whether you're going with a sibling, with a partner, you are visiting something that is what I would consider a sacred site to you. And you're not going on your own. Now, for those of you that are partnered or in relationships or marriages, this is actually quite nice. I will say though, because temperance sometimes temperance shows us where we need more maintenance on what it is that we are trying to maintain, or what it is that we are trying to, sometimes it will show us. So something about your relationship will come up this week, where you'll need to kind of do some maintenance on the relationship and bring it back into alignment with where you envision the relationship to be going. So for your key to the month this month, you get the Five of Wands, right? So this is going to be more like what Leo enjoys. This is going to be a busy month. There's going to be a lot of to-ing and fro-in. There's going to be a lot more social interaction this month, I definitely feel. The Sun card is in close proximity to the Five of Wands, which is really nice. This is get-togethers. It's fun, it's laughter, and it's enjoyable times with people that you know and care about. It's also you having the spirit of competition, but not like the, I'll tread on your face to have what I want. More in a case of like, you know what, you've done really well, but this one's mine this time. All right, so either which way, I think this is going to be a good month for Leos. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Take care, and I'll see you soon.